Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 165 of Cameron Sports Podcast. Your host here, Cameron Lindsay, with a brand new episode. Today's episode, I'm going to be talking some Major League Baseball, and in particular, my Atlanta Braves. The Atlanta Braves have been looking like the best team in baseball this season, and I ain't gonna lie, I did not really see this coming. I thought we would be good, if we stay healthy, but the Braves have been the best team in baseball so far this season. You would think that would be the defending back-to-back World Series champions, the LA Dodgers. And like I said, today's episode, I wanted to talk about that to see, are my Atlanta Braves really the best team in baseball? Find out, got a few topics that I want to, talk about regarding this episode. So let's get right into it. So first topic, the Atlanta Braves having the best record in baseball. So start off with the Braves. So like I said, they've been red hot this season. They became the first team this season to reach 20 wins. And like I said, I'm extremely happy about that. And that's, with injuries like to Ronald Acuña Jr., Spencer Strider, still not maybe being all the way 100%. Other injuries to the pitching rotation. So they became the first team to 20 wins. They're first in the National League East. Over the Phillies, who won it last year. I would thought, the way the Phillies, don't get me wrong, it's a very long season. It's over 130, 60 games. So it's plenty of time to turn it around. I've seen it happen when maybe about 4-5 years ago when the Braves were kind of struggling and the Mets were in first place and we all thought the Mets was going to win it. And the Braves ended up coming back, making a comeback, and walking the Mets down and winning the National League East. Matter of fact, the year the Braves won the World Series in 2021, that season they were kind of a little inconsistent, and they played their best baseball in October. That's really what it matters the most. And so, like I said, first in the National League East, looking red hot. I'm excited. You can't get too excited because, like I said, it's only 40-some games into the season. It's a very long season. They have only lost one series this season so far. Out of all teams in MLB, only one series. And that's very, very great. And the reason I think that's very good because, like I said, when you go into the playoffs and you're doing a best of 3, a best of 5, a best of 7, you want to be able to know that you can dominate the series, be the best team within a certain game stretch, especially if let's say you play a team, regularly the normal series in baseball is at least 3 games. You may have a 3-game slate against one team, and like I said, the first round of the MLB playoffs is a best of 3. So if we can win 2 out of 3 games, that's a series win. Like just recently, we played the Chicago Cubs at home this week. We won 2 games and only lost 1. That's 2 out of 3. So that right there definitely matters when it comes to playoff baseball, being a better team. So, like I said, they're the only team that has only lost 1 series. Like I said, the last series they lost was in Seattle. The Mariners, a very good team. We lost 2 games, 2 out of 3 games. So that's the only series we have lost this season. We won a series over the LA Dodgers, like I said, in the best of 3, 2-1. Like I said, that definitely matters, because if we make it to the National League Championship Series and we're playing the Dodgers as a best of 7, that's gonna, that could very go a long way. If we could compete, it's gonna be it'll be a long series with that depth that deep of a roster that the Dodgers have with Ohtani, Freeman, Mookie Betts. So, yeah, that right there definitely matters when it comes to, winning a series during the regular season in baseball. And like I said, they became the first team to 20 wins. They also recently this week just became the first team to 30 wins. They're now 30-14. They lost to the Cubs last night. They're 30-14 so far this season. The first team to 30 wins. That right there definitely means a lot. Like I said, it's a long season. I'm not going to get too happy because, like I said, it matters most playing your best baseball in October. I've seen teams, now get me wrong, I'm not, if you know me, my main sport that I'm the most knowledgeable in is football, then basketball. But I pay attention to baseball, and over the years I've seen teams win 100+ games and then lose in the first round. Baseball, it used to be just one game. You could win 100 games and play in the wild card. It used to be just one game. And I'm like, dang, man, that's crazy. Imagine winning 90 to 100 games. You lose one time and your season's done. Like, I'll be mad. I was like, they got to change that. You got to at least do a best of 3, a best of 5. So they end up changing. It's a best of 3. So I think that's a little bit better, because you could be a better team, and like you could be off in any sport, even tennis, golf, football, basketball. You off one game. You know what I'm saying? You could be off one game, and then if you play more games, you bounce back. So I just feel like, that it definitely matters in October, playing best baseball. Like I said, I'm glad my Braves are looking good. You know, I want them to continue to, but I want them to say they best baseball for October. Like I said, do I think we're gonna win 100 games? No, I'll be fine with 90 to 95 games. We win the National League East, get in the playoffs, stay healthy. You know, Strouder, Ronald Acuña, if he's still on the roster by then, keep everybody healthy. Austin Riley, Matt Olson, Ozzie Albies, Michael Harris, Drake Baldwin. If we can keep all of them healthy, I like our chances of winning the World Series this season. So, that's as far as that topic. The Braves having the best record in baseball. Like I said, they were the first team to reach 20 wins, first team to reach 30. Only team in baseball to only lose one series or fewer this season at all. Only team in baseball. That's very, 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 very amazing. Like I said, already a bounce back season from last year of missing the playoffs. Next topic for today's show: who has been the best player on the team so far for the Braves? And if you would think, a lot of people, some Braves fans, you probably would think it may be Ronald Acuña Jr. No, I wrote down a few players here that's been having a really good season for the Braves, that's leading the team in certain categories. I'll start off with center fielder Michael Harris. He's batting .311, which leads the team. Like I said, he's doing very, very good. First baseman Matt Olson leads the team with 14 home runs, and that is 4th in Major League Baseball right now. So he's definitely a top contender for National League MVP. Like I said, I definitely could see him possibly winning if he's staying hot. Like I said, it's not gonna be easy, of course, with somebody like Ohtani in that conference. But Matt Olson is having a really good season. Like I said, leads the team 14 home runs. He's 4th in MLB in home runs overall. Again, with Matt Olson, he has 37 RBIs, which leads the team. Catcher / designated hitter Drake Baldwin leads the team in on base percentage, OBP, with 380, which is like I said, percentage of getting on base. So he leads the team with that. He also leads the team with 50 hits. So that's definitely amazing. Like I said, I'll say one thing: Drake Baldwin has been looking amazingly. Like from his rookie year last year to now, it's like he continued to get better. And like I said, I did not see this coming. I didn't didn't know too much about him, but paying attention more and more, and I like what I see. Like I said, definitely got a special player in Drake Baldwin. And like I said, to answer the question for this topic, I think the best player on the team this season has been Matt Olson, and then Drake Baldwin. Them two have been the best players on this team by far. Like I said, Matt Olson leading the team in home runs with 14. He's top 4 in home runs overall in the Major League. He leads the team in RBIs with 37. Drake Baldwin leads the team in on base percentage with 380, and he leads the team in hits with 50. So them two have been the best players on the team by far. I would think it would be Ronald Acuña Jr., but like I said, he's been dealing with injuries, and he's really been kind of struggling this season when he has been healthy. So yeah, and like I said, that's as far as that topic. Like I said, my answer, who's been the best player on this team, is Matt Olson, and a close second has been catcher / designated hitter Drake Baldwin. second-year player Drake Baldwin. And lastly, again, to bring up Ronald Acuña Jr., this leads up to my last topic of the show. Should the Braves trade right fielder Ronald Acuña Jr., who won the 2023 National League MVP? I wrote down a few notes, that you could possibly lead to maybe taking some calls from teams, like say around the trade deadline, maybe see like if teams are interested. And I said injuries because, like I said, the last few years he's been hurt, and the best ability in any sport is availability. So you could be one of the top players in your sport position, but if you stay hurt and you can't contribute to the team, it's like, what kind of good is that? It's not helping us win a championship, get closer to our goal, so yeah. Also this season, like I said, he's really been struggling, or pretty much been average. He's batting .252, which is not horrible. It's 90th in Major League, and he has only 2 home runs, and we're like because we're 30 and 14 or 44 games into the season. He only has 2 home runs. Like I said, granted, he's been hurt kind of half the time, but when he's been healthy, he's really ain't been playing all that well. He has 9 RBIs, which is 150th. His on base, his OPS is 740, which is 83rd. So yeah, it really is like he really been at the very best, average. And like I said, and I seen it on a podcast that said, I think it was either before the season started or maybe right when the season started, it said, should the Braves consider trading Ronald Acuña Jr.? And I was like, what? That's crazy. That's blasphemy. That's your best player. But I could possibly see now, granted, do I think we should? No. I think, like I said, hopefully if he could just stay healthy, if he can start playing his best baseball later into the season, into the playoffs, because like I said, he's a very good defensive player. We're a right fielder. He can get hot with the bat anytime. So, but I'm just wrote down some key things that I think they could possibly consider taking a call if they did want to trade the former National League MVP. And lastly, his contract. Right now, he's sitting on an 8-year, $100 million contract, which is 17. He's going to make $17 million this season. He has a $10 million signing bonus, and an average annual of $12.5 million, and a club option for 2027 and 2028, which is both $17 million each. So if they want to get out that contract, that could be, like I said, that's another reason they probably could want to get trade and maybe get out that contract. Add to in other areas of the team. Because like I said, baseball, it's not really a sport where you really need one specific superstar player or a Hall of Fame player to win a championship. You need a whole bunch of key pieces, and that's what I'm learning in baseball. A whole bunch of key pieces to win, like I said. Because if it was just won by one player, look at the New York Yankees. They would have been won a couple World Series right now with Aaron Judge, who's been the best player one of the best players in all of baseball. One of the top 2 players in all of baseball. But like I said, when he gets to the playoffs, he struggles, and that goes to show you like it's more than one player. So I think I could see them possibly trading. Like I said, do I think they should take calls? I ain't gonna lie. I would listen. Like I said, you never know. It's a business decision in any professional sport. You're gonna listen, especially if you have a superstar player. You're gonna be like, hey, if you or y'all would y'all be interested in Ronald Acuña? And you're like, okay, well, what are you offering? Are you offering a prospect, a player that can help us win right now? So, and I was looking on social media that on a podcast, talking about the Atlanta Braves, and they were saying that Mike Trout for the Los Angeles Angels would be a perfect fit for the Atlanta Braves. And I said, ooh, I ain't gonna lie, I would like that. But I mean, I don't, like I said, like they said, they probably don't see it happening. Really, it's up to him to demand the trade, to be honest. Like I feel bad for him because Mike Trout is a very, very good player. Definitely a future Hall of Famer, first ballot. But it's like you playing for a horrible organization that's been sorry your whole career. I don't know. Maybe like I said, maybe he likes the weather. He likes playing in Cal. If you like playing in California, why not go to the Dodgers? Look at Ohtani, who used to be with the Los Angeles Angels, left them to go to the Dodgers. So if you like being in California, go to the better team with the Dodgers. I'm pretty sure the Dodgers got the money. They don't care about cap space. And baseball, really, there really is no cap space, to be honest. So they can fit all them contracts on that team. So, but it's up to him. But like I said, I would take calls on Ronald Acuña. Would I do it? Not necessarily. At least I would give it this season. If he continues to struggle, continue to get hurt in the offseason next year, then I would say, yeah, we probably might have to trade him. So, but yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today. Like I said, Atlanta Braves the best team in baseball, and the answer to that is yes, they are. Like I said, first team to 20 wins, first team to 30 wins. Only have lost one series this regular season. They have one of the best players in baseball playing this season in Matt Olson. They have another one of the best players in baseball, and second-year player, catcher, designated hitter, Drake Baldwin. This team is loaded. Like I said, we got talent to win. Like I said, we got Austin Riley, third baseman, shortstop, Ozzie, outfielder, Michael Harris, first baseman, Matt Olson. So we got all these players, and like I said, Spencer Strider, he's still trying to get his foot back right in it. Our best pitcher, our leading starting pitcher, get his feet back in, get to 100%. So, and like I said, I like the way this team is going. Like I said, first to 20, first to 30. Hopefully, we'll be the first to 50, first to to 90. We'll see, but it's a long season. I'm not gonna get too cocky at all. I'm really not gonna get cocky at all because, like I said, anything can happen. It's a long season. The only way I'm gonna start getting cocky once we get to the playoffs, if we still really start playing our best baseball, I'm gonna start feeling myself then. I ain't gonna lie. Already, of course, I plan on going to a game in person. Probably next weekend when they play the Washington Nationals. I'm probably going to that. Might go to that one on Saturday. So who knows? You might see some pictures or video of me at the game. Me and my lady at the game. So cheering on my favorite team, the Atlanta Braves, future World Series champs. So, but I appreciate y'all tuning in for another episode of Karen Sports Podcast. Sitting here with your favorite host. If you want to continue to touch down with Cam, you know what to do. Click that like button. Click the subscribe button. Turn on your post notifications. Let's get to 500 subscribers before the end of the year. And yeah, like I said, I definitely appreciate each one of you. I love you like your family. So yeah, but I'll catch y'all next time. It's been Cameron Lindsay of Karen Sports Podcast. Take care.